Nice. So much poison value right there, and he just ignored our entire miner. The queen is dead as well, so that's amazing for us. Ice Spirit here for the Ram Rider. And super clean defense. What's up, everybody? Durkee here, and today we're going to be talking about one of the absolute best decks inside of Clash Royale right now. The former best player in the entire world, Mohamed Light, is running this deck at top ladder right now, and he's absolutely tearing it up. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is absolutely one of the highest skill decks that I have ever played, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. This is a deck that I would challenge you to use if you're trying to get better at the game, because the learning curve on this deck is really, really high. Your main win condition inside of this deck is minor poison and just defending really well, so it's a really hard deck to play, properly, so again, I challenge you to use it if you want to improve at the game. So yeah, pretty high skill deck, pretty fun to use. I'm going to be hopping into some games right now. Before I do that, if you're watching and you enjoy the content, if you could go ahead and drop a like or a subscription to the channel. It's completely free for you and it helps me immensely, so I appreciate that. Let's get into some games. So with the current starting hand that I have, I like just going for an Ice Spirit. Okay, he goes for a Giant in the back, probably just going to ignore the Ice Spirit. So we don't have a Bomb Tower in cycle, so this is going to be a little interesting. I'm going to cycle to it. I want to force him to spend something. So I'm going to go like this. We get a really incredible poison, and our little prince is just going to go in here. Going to completely DPS down that giant. See, that was important to force out more elixir out of them. Giant gets one shot. That's perfect. Going to pop the ability. It usually forces out a negative elixir trade. So he'll have to pop his own ability, but our little prince is actually going to take care of their little prince. Alright, I'm happy with that interaction. I didn't really need that log. I was trying to do something cheeky where it would keep my little prince alive, but kind of an unnecessary log. So it kind of looks like it's a weird giant graveyard deck. Could be a giant balloon. We'll find out right here if he goes in for a graveyard. We have poison for the minions. Okay, there's the graveyard. He probably won't have enough to play a supporting spell, so these goblins will do a great job of cleaning up the graveyard. The reason I said that is because it looked like he played the graveyard like almost delayed. So I don't think he had enough elixir for like a poison or a snowball. He burns a snowball there, but he's going to need it for that side. Nice. And we've already taken a third of their tower. And they've barely touched ours. So that's a really good start. So my hand's interesting here. I'm going to go for a log, and then I'm going to Goblin Surround on this Dark Prince, like so. Make sure we take no damage on our tower. We know one of their spells is Snowball. I'm actually going to opt to save my poison here for the graveyard. That's inevitably coming. And I'm going to block the little prince. Okay. Just to be safe, I'm going to poison here. You see poison actually a really good answer to the graveyard. Zero damage taken here on the graveyard. Gonna go like this here. We're gonna get a ton of damage. Little Prince getting so much value right now. It's actually crazy. Ice Spirit here so it gets even more value. Go like this. And my Little Prince is absolutely going in. It's crazy, dude. Little Prince is such a good card. It's so broken. Okay, he doesn't have the ability. He's already used it. So I am up in elixir. He just wasted his snowball, so I'm gonna go in here. Depending on what he plays, I might poison. Okay, so arrows is the other spell. That's pretty typical with Giant Graveyard. That means he has no good way of getting our little prince off of the board. So if he goes in for a graveyard here, we can poison. Evo Knight here for all of this. Gonna poison. Little Prince is also gonna do an amazing job cleaning up the graveyard. We're gonna go in for a miner of our own. Then we're gonna pressure like this. I think he's going to play minions. No, we'll take a poison on the little prince. And I had a feeling he was going to have to play the minions there. We're going to get a ton of damage on the left. Almost take their entire tower. Force out the arrows. We're controlling the tempo of this game. It's actually awesome. That's why they call this a controlled deck. Okay. Evo Archer is going to go like this. Okay. The reason I did that is because I needed to get them off. And I could have played my goblins on the graveyard. I'm still going to play my goblins on the graveyard. You can go for arrows. Little Prince is still going to help out with the graveyard. Okay, walked away. Very nice. Okay, ability here will keep my little prince alive. Like I mentioned, he doesn't have a great way of getting my little prince off of the board. Gonna pressure here. Okay. The miner's absolutely going in. And we're chilling right now. This is our game to lose. I want him to have to spend something. We're gonna poison on the graveyard. Nice. He goes for the knight. He can't really support this graveyard push, which is awesome. Okay. Gonna take a log here and go for one more minor poison, and that should clean up the match. Bomb tower like this. Ice Spirit, and then a log, and we're back to another poison, and that's a good game against a giant graveyard player. So that's a good way to play the matchup. You can see we pretty much controlled the tempo the entire time, so good game. See you in the next one. Into our match here. And I've said this about this deck before, but the way that it's played is you're only getting a few, like, little bits of damage each time. You get little pieces of minor chip, you get Ice Spirit chip, and you don't end up getting that much damage. Or it doesn't feel like it's a crazy amount of damage. So your opponent, they're kind of caught off guard because they're like, oh, I just gave them like a few hundred damage here and there, but it really does add up. We're gonna go Goblins low here. Be ready with our log in case he tries any spell shenanigans. Yeah, they do. They missed the tower, though, somehow. So we're going to go in here. Get ready to poison anything that they play for us. Nope. And again, we're just going to take our chip. So I'm fine using my bomb tower. I know they have the balloon, but we just found out that they have a balloon and a freeze. So if I properly space out my little prince, I should be able to defend a balloon just fine. Really weird deck that this person is running, kind of like a homemade deck with Ram Rider, balloon, freeze. And we end up getting an absurd amount of damage on the left side. Interesting. Okay, this is going to be a weird defense. I'm going to play my little prince in hopes of activating my king tower. Goblins like this. I just messed it up. Okay, let's go like that. We can survive, Chad, I promise you. I was just a smidgen late on that king tower activation, but that's the idea. I'm sure you've seen it before. Nothing new. Okay, so Evo Knight's going to actually be... I don't know if I want to use my Evo Knight. I'm going to use my little prince and then go for the goblins. Be wary of the freeze. Freeze wouldn't really do anything. It'd be a really bad freeze, to be completely honest. And now I'm going to pressure with an Ice Spirit. Take the poison on the wizard. And... pop the ability here. Decent ability. Log will actually take care of this. We almost hit the Dark Goblin by accident, and we're going to get a little bit of chip. Tempted to just go minor on that princess, get it off the board. We haven't seen them go for a balloon ever since they found out we had the bomb tower. Okay, knight in the back. Goes for the Mega Knight. I'm going to set up an early bomb tower. And little prince to support this all. Never mind. Little prince over here. Okay, that's a reasonable play. But he will have a hard time defending our pushes. So we're going to go like that, this. They spent a lot of elixir here, so hopefully we can overwhelm them. Beautiful, beautiful. Lots of damage, lots of damage. That's all going to get DPS down. We're pressuring for the 3 crown as well as the 2 crowns, so I wasn't too worried in that situation, only because I knew that if he spent enough elixir to get our tower, we were going to be able to take theirs. So good game. We'll see you on the next one. All right, into our match here. Something to keep in mind about this deck is it is not a one-push win kind of deck. You want to whittle down your opponent, taking like chip damage here and there, and then they're going to find themselves down a few hundred damage, a few thousand damage, and they're going to think to themselves, how did I get in that position? How did I lose that much damage, right? Like so quickly, you know what I mean? All right, into our next match here. So with our starting hand, I love Ice Spirit. I think it is the best starting play, like I mentioned. Goblin's log here should clean this up. I don't know if he has like an arrows or something. So we're even on elixir. They spent 5 on that Ram Rider, and we spent 5 in total. Ram Rider, you don't see it a lot in the meta. It's usually with like a bridge spam deck or a Mega Knight deck sometimes. Okay, Sparky. Sparky can be very, very scary to defend. We're going to have to use our Ice Spirit to eat one of the Sparky shots, most likely. We're going to go for a Knight here. We are going to go like this. Ice Spirit here is going to eat one of the shots. And then we're going to go like this. And it works. They spent a lot there. And double elixir, I think you can poison the Sparkies in the back, but in single elixir, it's kind of hard to get away with that. So we're going to get our King Tower activated here. I'm going to let that evil, or that E drag get one shot. Knight like this. It's going to activate King Tower. We do take some damage, but I think it's worth it. If they're playing any sort of beatdown, it's absolutely beneficial to have your King Tower activated. I could take the poison on that, but I already have more damage on the opposite side, so I'm just going to chill. I will cycle a log, though. I'm fine. I want to get those Rascal Girls off. The big Rascal isn't really a threat without the Rascal Girls. Bomb Tower here. And then let's see. King Tower isn't going to be enough. Just going to play these Goblins just to be safe. So now our building's out of cycle. They might try and build up a large push with like a Sparky, and I'm guessing they have a Giant or a Goblin Giant in here, but we're fine. Double Elixir gets really good for us. Gonna cycle an Ice Spirit once more. Ops to ignore. Okay, so now that we're in double elixir, I will poison the Sparkies. We already have a little Prince down, so I'm tempted to go for a poison log poison. Ready back to another poison here. You can see how awesome this interaction is for us. Nice. So much poison value right there, and he just ignored our entire miner. The Queen is dead as well, so that's amazing for us. Ice Spirit here for the Ram Rider. And super clean defense. Alright, I want to get my little Prince down, so if they go for a Sparky that we can... Actually, I'm going to go like this. And reactively play my little Prince if they go for a Sparky. Okay? That's fine as well. There's the Sparky. I'm going to take my poison on it. I'm going to be able to cycle 2 poisons. Knight here is going to take care of the Queen. Okay. Okay. Going to pop the ability here. I think I can get away with just going for Goblins on the Sparky. See, they're under pressure right now, so... Miner here as well. Maybe I'll get poison value. Yeah, whatever. All good, we'll take that. And we're fine. Gonna go for this early, see if we can catch him off guard. Probably just gonna pop the ability. They do pop the ability, but it's gonna get logged away. And we're chilling right now. Okay. My miner's gonna get eviscerated, unfortunately. And that's fine. I have confidence in our ability to defend. Nice. Had a feeling. I just had a feeling. Okay. We have a lot of options to defend this Sparky. I'm actually going to let the Bomb Tower eat one of the shots. Then we're going to go like this. Eat 1 Queen shot. And then we're going to defend no problem. That's a good poison for us. And you can see we're kind of just dominating right now. Like, there's really no good way for him to break through. I could be even more aggressive if I wanted. But I think I'm just going to chill. Gonna set up a defense. Gonna poison on the Sparky and the tower. Knight here is gonna block the Queen. Another log. Another miner. Another poison. And there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop this. Like, literally nothing. Ice Spirit here just in case he pops the Queen ability. And that's gonna be a good game. You can see how crazy this deck is sometimes. When you play well, you can totally control the tempo. It's a good game. We'll see you in the next one. Into the next match here. I do have Ice Spirit in my starting hand. I feel like that's one of the best moves. Okay. Let one of those Spear Goblins lock on. No problem. Miner. Goblins here. And it looks like he's also playing like a form of miner control. Okay. We actually get more damage than they do. We're up a little bit of elixir as well. Log here. Gonna take care of the Spear Goblins. Might have a Magic Archer in this deck. Not entirely sure. Gonna go like this. Beautiful. I think he's gonna eat that Ice Spirit. It does. The Ice Spirit splashes on the tower and the miner, so that's huge. Kind of just waste that. Oops. I misclicked there. Dang. I meant to hit the tower as well, so that mortar's going to get 2 shots, and that's on me.
Excuse me, don't you know who I am?
My fault, my fault. I was trying... You can actually poison the tower and the mortar, and I did not do that. So it's not the same deck, but it is going to be a control deck. So I'm going to Little Prince like this. I don't want to be able to poison everything.
Excuse me, don't you know who I am?
Little Prince here. I think we're okay. Okay. Little Prince is on the tower. He actually needs to spend more over there. Perfect. So because the Little Prince locked on the tower, it forced out the log. And now we're going to get a ton of damage here. Oh my gosh. So that is such a good reason to oftentimes pop the Little Prince ability, even if you think nothing's going to happen from it. Because it locked onto the tower, he had to log, didn't have log for the goblins. And we actually took their entire tower. That's crazy. I'm going to go for the knight here, and then goblins on his. Spear goblins, and pretty much the only way that I think that they win at this point is with like an Evo mortar. So we're going to be ready with that. Make sure we defend everything properly. He goes for the poison. Kind of aggressive, I feel like. Awesome. And Evo Knight's going to go to work. Going to go like this and apply some pressure of my own. Some pressure of my own here. Because they were really aggressive with that. And you can see Little Prince getting a ton of value. Going to take out their Little Prince. And I understand it. They were playing from behind. They had to be a little bit aggressive. But it's going to cost them the game. Nice little 3 crown to close out this game. And we'll go ahead and see ya in the next one. Alright. Into our next match here. Go ahead and give our opponent the good luck. And see what we can do. I feel like when in doubt, Ice Spirit it out. It's going to splash on the skeleton and the tower. Goes for the mortar. Okay, we're going to knight. And misplay our knight. So that way the mortar locks on. So we're going to go for a minor poison. Hopefully he plays something perfect. Okay, so that cannon cart's going to get nominal value. It's going to get taken out by our poison. And we had a little misclick there, but a different mortar deck. I have a feeling that this one's going to be a little harder with the cannon cart. They most likely have a poison, but we don't know for sure. Some people run Mortar Fireball or Mortar Earthquake, but yeah, so there is the poison. Makes sense. It's going to be a -1 trade for them. I'm going to go like this. And I'm okay cycling my knight because I do have other Evo mortar counters in hand. So I'm going to go like this. And poison here. I actually got my Ice Spirit down a little too late. Otherwise, that would have completely countered. Goblins here just to make sure that doesn't lock onto our tower. And despite, like, 2 pretty big flubs, we find ourselves, like, essentially tied with this mortar player. I could get the King Tower activated. I don't have a great hand to do so. And that bar barrel kind of forced me to play my knight. That was very well played, actually. Funny enough, the Omega Minion's actually not a good counter to the knight. Like you can see, because when it's walking, it takes less damage. So, maybe not the best play by our opponent. Defensive Miner, because I don't want to play our Little Prince. They'll probably poison it if we do. Tempted to take the poison here, but I feel like they're baiting me. I'm going to do it. Then get ready here. Maybe predict the mortar. They don't play it, but that's okay. Going to take care of that cannon cart, and it's also going to take care of the firecracker. Okay. Pretty aggressive play by our opponent. Okay. We're going to go like this, and we're going to poison everything. And then Little Prince is going to tank for the rest of that mortar. Then we can go for a knight right here. And we survived the Evo mortar push. That is seriously the name of the game, is like, can you survive against the Evo mortar? Okay, good bar barrel by our opponent. But that big boy's on the tower. People totally underestimate how much damage that does, myself included. Okay, we're going to go like this. Then we have our Evo Knight here. Evo Knight is such a good answer for mortar. Like, it defends it so well. Okay. Has Graveyard. Interesting. He still needs to defend that Evo Knight, so Little Prince surviving with a sliver of HP. Interesting time to go for the Graveyard. I'm noting that I probably want to save my poison for the Graveyard in the future. In that case, now that I know they're running Graveyard, I will take the King Tower activation, because it's going to help out a ton with the Graveyard. Okay, one mortar shot is fine. Log here to make sure that doesn't lock on. I'm going to cycle back to another poison. You can see the King Tower is so helpful against the Graveyard. And for those of you that don't know, when you're playing against Graveyard, it is fruitful to go into the opposite lane, if you can. I'd like to take care of that Evo Mortar. Okay. My opponent playing very, very well. We're going to bomb tower like this. It's going to help out with the Firecracker and the Cannon Cart. And we're going to pressure just a teeny bit. Graveyard, not really a good option for him at this point. We're going to maybe catch Skeletons, hopefully. That's still fine. Just in case they go for the Mortar. They do go for the Mortar. Bomb Tower is going to clean that all up. I'm going to pressure a little bit so they can't go all in. Evil Knight's going to help clean that up. Still saving my poison in case that I need it. Okay. Gonna go ahead and again go for this. Gonna keep my poison handy dandy. Gonna poison this. That's a good poison. We're already back to another one as well because we had the Little Prince down. Okay. 20 seconds left here. And we're really, really close to winning this game. That mortar's also misplaced, so it's not going to lock onto my tower. Okay. Going to go in here. And if I defensively poison, there's no way that that gets any damage. So, really well played to my opponent. But we ended up clutching up in the end. Pretty even matchup, I would say. But hopefully that helps you if you run into a Mortar Graveyard player. So that's a good game. We'll see you in the next one. All right, into our final game here. Gonna see if we can get a win. Definitely had a few losses this video. Don't know if I'll include them, but I'm telling you, this deck is just like so hard to play. It's so fun though. It really teaches you how to defend properly, when you can spend elixir and when you can't, and all of that good stuff. So, okay, might go in with like a Graveyard push here.
Excuse me, don't you know who I am?
Good Ice Spirit. And then I want to block this Fisherman. So we're gonna go like that. Keep my Little Prince healthy, and my boy is spending an absurd amount. One elixir, Little Prince, why not? Force out a log or something. Or a mortar. And a snowball. And that. All of his elixir. So we're going to pressure opposite lane as well. There we go. Force out some elixir. Okay, so it looks like they're running mortar, Fisherman, Hunter, something. I don't know, some deck that I've never seen. Okay, we messed up that Knight placement, apparently. Get ready to drop my Little Prince in the back. Okay. Don't know what his big spell is, so I'm wary of cycling a Little Prince into that Fisherman. But, okay, we're going to go like this and hopefully get our Ice Spirit down in time. We don't, unfortunately. So I'm going to log here and we're going to take 2 mortar shots. Okay, only end up taking 1 mortar shot, so that's awesome. It's going to get taken care of. Okay, Little Prince here. As well as some extra Miner chip. If I was crazy, I could have got the Miner down to tank for the Little Prince, but my reactions were a little slow there. Okay, we're going to be ready here. We're not going to mess up the Knight placement this time. Fully expect him to pop the ability. Even with the NATO, doesn't really get much. Goblins are going to clean up the Ice Wizard. Then we're going to have a little baby counter push. Might force out the defensive mortar, not sure. Ice Spirit. We are ready for the mortar, so we have all of this. Might need a log just to make sure that that goblin doesn't take care of our bomb tower. And we survived the Evo mortar push, so that was ideal. Gonna poison on everything. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice, we forced out a ton of elixir on defense. Uses the ability. Knight is actually an amazing tank for the mortar. Fisherman gonna pull everything in. Interesting. Messes up the NATO. Pretty big mistake, honestly. We're going to go ahead and take the poison here. Just want to make sure that we're distracting that mortar. Okay. Good job by the miner. Mistimed that little prince ability. And we're looking fine right now. Okay. Getting ready for him to go in for a mortar, most likely. We want to pressure as well. Nice. Hopefully we can catch something. We do. We catch the hunter. Awesome. Good poison value for us. Getting ready for a mortar. There it is. We get it. No surprise. Goes for the NATO. Pretty bad NATO, to be completely honest. Pop the ability on that side. Miner on the right. And he's going to have a hard time defending both lanes. If he defends the miner, he's going to probably lose the left. He gets the fisherman down. And like I mentioned, he defended the right side, but he loses his left side. So that's a good game. Good last game of the video. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give this deck a try. Let me know how you like it. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Peace.